I just think it's silly. I believe that the president is probably rewarding him for being such a loyal soldier to the president. But the president is smart enough and his team is smart enough to know that Mr. Gaetz will never get confirmed by the Senate.
Well, it must be the worst nomination for a cabinet position in American history.
I think choices are very good except one. Look, Gaetz won't get confirmed. Everybody knows that.
We're going to give the president a chance to put his people forward. To every Republican, give Matt a chance.
He's no attorney general. Suck it up.
A lot of mixed reactions among Republican lawmakers in regard to Donald Trump picking former Congressman Matt Gaetz as his AG pick, but he stepped down from Congress just yesterday, which seemed like a weird preemptive move to make. There could be a reason behind it other than the AG nomination. So let's get into it. So here is the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, making the big announcement yesterday.
I think out of deference to us, he issued his resignation letter effective immediately of Congress. That caught us by surprise a little bit, but I asked him what the reasoning was, and he said, well, you can't have too many absences. So under Florida state law, there's about an 8-week period to select and fill a vacant seat. And so by doing so today, that allows me, I've already placed a call to Governor DeSantis in Florida and said, let's start the clock. He's in Italy at the moment, and so we're going to talk first thing in the morning about this. And if we start the clock now, if you do the math, we may be able to fill that seat as early as January 3rd when we take the new oath of office for the new Congress. So Matt would have done us a great service by making that decision as he did on the fly.
Yeah, that was all BS. Okay, complete and utter BS. What's really going on? Well, one potential reason why Matt Gaetz stepped down has to do with something that was reported by Jake Sherman over at Punchbowl. He says that Representative Matt Gaetz's resignation from Congress came 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into the Republican, according to multiple sources familiar with the probe. And more importantly, the committee planned to vote Friday of this week on releasing the report. Ethics loses its jurisdiction over Gaetz when he leaves Congress. Now, as a reminder of what this investigation is all about, the House Ethics Committee has been investigating Matt Gaetz on and off since 2021 over several allegations, including sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and obstruction of an investigation. Most recently, over the summer, the committee announced that it had also identified new lines of inquiry that merited review, including whether Gaetz dispensed special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship and sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct. The committee also cleared him of some of the allegations, so I think it's important to be fair and mention that. So it would take no further action at the time on the allegations that Gaetz may have shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor, misused state identification records, converted campaign funds to personal use, and or accepted a bribe or improper gratuity. Now, according to the Washington Post, the Ethics Committee is still planning to meet, and they could still release their report as soon as tomorrow, so brace for impact. They could also potentially send the report to the Justice Department or the Senate Ethics Committee. And it does seem that senators are on board with the committee releasing the report for obvious reasons. The senators are tasked with confirming Matt Gaetz's nomination for AG. And it does seem that some senators are pushing for the report to be released, including Republican Senator John Cornyn and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. I should also note that one of the more outrageous or controversial things that Matt Gaetz has been accused of is engaging in a sexual relationship with a minor, someone who's 17 years old. And we're learning more about that. So John Clune, who's the attorney for that woman, says that Matt Gaetz did in fact have sex with her when she was 17. So there's that. There's more information about that as well. I can get into it, but Cenk, I want to give you a chance to weigh in.
Yeah. So look, whenever they go to things about their personal character instead of attacking them on policy, I go, uh-oh. they probably dislike him for another reason, right? Having said that, in his case, some of the details are pretty sordid. But there's only really one that I care about. I don't care that he did drugs, who cares? And I don't care what kind of sex he had. Oh my God, I never want to hear about it and don't care at all, okay? With the exception of the 17-year-old. So if you had underage sex, then that's a significant problem. So let's figure that out, right? And if that's the case, obviously that's a giant issue. So the rest of it is just like salacious. And they're like, oh, he might have paid for sex. I'm still trying to find a way to care. Nope, don't care. Couldn't find it. And so if that bothers your morals, okay, we agree to disagree on that. That's for me, that's their business, not my business. Does it affect what they do in government or doesn't it, okay? So now, in terms of why they're doing this and the timing of it, yeah, this is a big thank you card from Donald Trump to Matt Gaetz. It's basically a gift to get him the hell out of Dodge. He's got to get out of the House before they release that report, especially if the stories about the 17-year-old are true, because then it would be official, it would be public. They're gonna he has so many enemies, they're gonna leak it anyway, just like they did to Madison Cawthorn, right? The minute he starts talking against other Republicans, all of a sudden we're seeing him in all these salacious pictures that they had all along but never released.
Look, honestly, I want to understand why the DOJ dropped their investigation into Matt Gaetz. Because they did, and let me just give you some information. The 17-year-old, at the time girl, actually testified before the DOJ that they had a sexual relationship when she was 17.
Yeah, that's the thing, so they dropped they gave a super light sentence to Jeffrey Epstein many years ago, and that was under a Democratic administration, but the prosecutor who did that then was rewarded by Donald Trump and made labor secretary, a giant promotion that had nothing to do with his expertise. No one even noted it, right? So in this case, why did the Department of Justice under Biden drop this case? And that's always made me think, well, did they have it or did they not have it, right? Because if they don't have it and you're smearing the guy, then I'm gonna get mad in the other direction. But if you have it and the Department of Justice dropped it, what are you guys doing? What are you doing, right? So that's why I still have a question mark around that.
Me too.
So apparently we're gonna find out one way or another. And obviously Matt Gaetz is also deeply concerned about it, and that is why he loves this. Because it lets him get out of the House with dignity. They were almost certainly going to kick him out no matter what, right? Let alone the releasing of the report. Once he went after Kevin McCarthy, the die was cast. Those establishment Republicans were never ever going to let it go. They were always going to kick Matt Gaetz out of Congress no matter what happened. And it might well be that Matt Gaetz definitely deserved it, right? But whether he deserved it or not, they were going to kick him out. So he gets to get out of Dodge saying, well, I was going for a promotion and I was going for Attorney General. And he gets his brand, in a sense, uplifted by getting this nomination for one of the 4 most important positions in any administration, Attorney General.
Yeah, but look, I actually don't know if Trump did him a favor. I mean, Trump might have tapped Gaetz for AG thinking that he's doing him a favor. But I have no doubt that this report by the House Ethics Committee is gonna be released one way or the other. And now with Matt Gaetz getting this nomination, people are paying even more attention to him on a much bigger scale. So it's very likely, if it is a damning report, it's very likely going to be used as the reason why Senate Republicans rejected him for the AG role. So how does that lead to Gaetz winning?
Because he didn't get kicked out of the House.
Oh, so he stepped down on his own. Okay.
He stepped up to try to get the Attorney General thing, and then he'll paint it as, but they did a character assassination of me and the deep state and all that stuff, right?
Fair, okay.
Right, so
I guess.
Now I just want to reiterate what I said earlier in the show. Remember, this is also both sacrificial lamb and squirrel, right? So the 4 neocons that he nominated, Rubio, Stefanik, Huckabee, and Walz, who are all pro-Israel, Israel firsters, who say that yes, we should. One of them said we should have a multi-generational war, and that your grandkids should be fighting that war. And so he wants to distract away from that because he pretended to be anti-war, but those guys are all pro-war. And now no one is talking about those guys for 2 reasons, by the way. One, because successful squirrel operation. Hey, look over there. There's Matt Gaetz. And everybody stops looking over here. But number two is mainstream media loves those guys. They're like, oh, you brought in some professionals to make sure Israel's first and America's fourth, right? Because you got to put Saudi Arabia, Russia, a couple other things in there, right? So that's the sacrificial lamb. Like he knows he's going to take him, they're going to take him out, but then he gets to say also, hey, listen, you guys took him out. Well, I'm drawing the line. No one else. I want everyone else confirmed. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, all the neocons, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the squirrel and the lamb. And then, as I said a little bit earlier, Trump gets to say, I'm not like the others. I pick guys that are way off the board and what the establishment doesn't want. You wanted an FU to the establishment. This is an FU to the establishment.
Yeah, so we'll see how it all plays out, but man, that report's probably gonna be released tomorrow when I'm not on the show. You guys wait till Monday to cover it, okay?
Okay, we'll see. We don't know what's in it yet. Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a young Turk.